Morning, students. We are discussing a chapter called Biodiversity Conservation. In the previous class, we discussed the topic like levels of biodiversity, global biodiversity, biodiversity in India, patterns of biodiversity. So, by in this chapter, there are two words. In the previous class, I said biodiversity. Bio means living organism. Diversity, variety. Variety of living organism in a given area at given period of time is called biodiversity. Then conservation is saving of living organism. Protecting of living organism is called conservation. So in the previous class we studied levels of biodiversity. The levels of biodiversity or types of biodiversity or components of biodiversity all are same. The three levels are there. One is genetic diversity, second a species diversity, third a ecological or ecosystem diversity. Genetic diversity, which means variation of genes within the species, is called genetic diversity. Best example, a Rauwolfia vomitoria, a medicinal plant, produces a active chemical called reserpine. This reserpine, its potency and concentration is different in different regions of Himalaya. Second one, species diversity. The variety of species present in a given area is called species diversity. Best example, the Western Ghats have greater amphibian, nothing but frog species compared to the Eastern Ghats. There is one more word is there, species richness. The number of species present in a given area is called a species richness. Then, compared to the plants, the variety of animals we are going to see. The plants diversity or variety of plants are very less. This is due to animals or avoid the unfavorable condition by searching new habitat and okay and they become more adapted to diverse habitats, but plants are not. For this reason, the plants have less diversity compared to the animals. Third one, ecological or ecosystem diversity. The variety of habitats available to the organism in a given area is called ecological or ecosystem diversity. Example, air deserts, hills, rainforest, estuaries, coral reef, etc. The sandy beach with the salt water compared to the Scandinavian country like Norway. It is also one of the best example. Okay. These are the three levels of biodiversity with example we studied in the previous class. Global diversity, the total variability of life forms on the earth is called global diversity. Robert May, a studied are given by a scientific study or made by a scientific study called global diversity. According to Robert May, 7 million species are there in the global diversity. Then India is one of the 12th mega diversity countries of the world. Then IUCN estimated nearly 1.5 million species identified. IUCN means International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Natural resources. Then we studied in the previous class like patterns of biodiversity. In the equator region or tropical region, we are going to see more species variety compared to the polar or temperate region. Because of the tropical or equator region, there is a climatic conditions are favorable for the growth of plants and adaptation of animals. Adaptation of animals. Tropical Amazon rainforest in South America has greatest biodiversity on earth. Tropical region have more solar energy that contribute higher productivity and greater species diversity. This is one of the major reason. So these are the a concept we studied in the previous class. Now we are going to move on. One more topic is called a biodiversity and conservation. Sorry, sorry, species area relationship. And come to the species area relationship. A German naturalist called Alexander van Humboldt studied the species area relationship in South American forest. South American forest. He found that the species richness increases with increasing explored area up to certain limit, because when the area under the study has uniform, the environmental factors like climate, soil, temperature, water, etc. The species, the relationship between species richness and area for a wide variety of taxa turns out to be a rectangular hyperbola. Okay. When the species area relationship is plotted on a logarithmic scale, the straight line is obtained is called species area relationship curve. It is represented as in the a diagram. See, this is the species richness, this is the area, this is the area. So, the species area relationship curve is explained by the equation called logarithmic S is equal to logarithmic C plus Z logarithmic A, where the S represents species richness, A represent area, Z represent slope of the line, or in the mathematical way regression of coefficient, C represent intercept. The analysis of species area relationship curve shows that when the species area relationship is studied over a large areas like continent, the Z value ranges between 0.6 to 1.2. It shows more sleeper line and small area like a district or state. The Z value ranges between 0.1 to 0.2. It shows less sleeper line. The slope of regression in a species area relationship has greater significance to study the species of the richness with respect to the area explored. It means nothing but it has been needed the regardless of taxonomic group or region, the slope of the regression line are amazingly similar. However, for a very large area like entire continent, the slope of line is steeper. So this diagram is indicate nothing but the how much area, how much species richness is occupied. So on this basis, a straight line will be taken place. If the area is less, sorry, if the area is more, the species richness is less, then a sleeper a line able to draw. the area is equal, species richness is equal, then we are going to see the a straight line. The species area relationship we are going to study it or understand by a formula called log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. Okay. Then, but importance of species diversity to the ecosystem. What is the importance in an ecosystem? What is the importance of species diversity or variety of species in the ecosystem? The increased species diversity increasing the functioning of ecosystem. How? One by one is maintenance the ecological balance. If variety of species is more, the ecosystem functional aspects of ecosystem also more. In that what happens, there is a maintenance of ecological balance we are going to see. Then it renders the stability in food production. Food production also able to stable. Then provide the alternative food sources in food chain. Alternative food, that is in the food chain, there is a producers to consumers, then decomposers. Next one, maintains the gaseous composition of atmosphere. Gaseous composition, nothing but the plants absorb the carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis from the environment and they release the oxygen more amount. The animals absorb the oxygen for the respiration, they release the carbon dioxide. So here what happens, the maintenance of gaseous composition we are going to see in an atmosphere. Okay. Then it helps in the formation and conservation of soil. Soil formation also helpful and conservation of soil. It helps in pollination in plants by insects and birds. In an ecosystem, the species richness is more. The variety of species is more. Then what happens? The pollination is taken place more amount. The pollination, the process helpful for the growing of more plants. So the pollination process is carried by insects as well as birds. Here also we are going to see the balancing. Then control the climatic condition. Control the climatic condition. The species diversity in an ecosystem control the climatic condition like temperature, like pH of soil, then pH of soil, then a temperature, pH of soil, then humidity, each and every factors. Then regulate the nutrient cycling. Nothing but the biogeochemical cycle. The species diversity in an ecosystem able to regulate or control the nutrient cycling. Nothing but the carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle, oxygen cycle, etc. etc. Okay. So these are the importance of species diversity to the ecosystem. Next is Rivard-Popper hypothesis. When come to the Rivard-Popper hypothesis, it was proposed by a scientist called Paul Ehrlich to explain the effect of decrease in biodiversity in the ecosystem. So in an ecosystem, if any decreasing of biodiversity, in that condition what the effect we are going to see, that concept was very clearly explained by taking one experiment, one example by a Paul Ehrlich. He compared the functioning of ecosystem to the aeroplane and its rivets to each species. Rivets nothing but the ಕನ್ನಡ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ನೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಸೊ ಪಾಲ್ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯ್ತಂದರೆ ಸೊ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಸೊ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ RIVET ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್, ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಅವೇನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಬೈ ಥೌಸಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿವೆಟ್ಸ್. If every passenger traveling in it start pulling out a rivet to take home, initially it may not affect the safety of a flight functioning. But as more and more rivets removed, the plane become dangerously weak over a period of time. The removal of rivets of critical parts like wings can cause the danger of crash than the removal of few rivets on the seats or windows inside the plane. Inside the plane. Similarly, every species of the ecosystem is important here. The extinction of any one of the species affect the proper functioning of an ecosystem. The loss of key species that drive the major functioning of the ecosystem will result in imbalancing of ecosystem. So very clear. So the Paul and Rich compare the a decreasing of biodiversity effect in an ecosystem by aeroplane with rivers. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ನಾನು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಆ ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ಎ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ನೆಟ್ನ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ದು, ಆ ಕಡೆ ವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ವೀಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬಾಡಿನ, ವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ನ, ವೀಲ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ನಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಆ ನಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಟೈಟಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಟಾಗಿ ತಿರುಗಿಸಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಾವೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ವಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಏನು ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅವಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ ಲೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನು ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ಲೈ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಪಾಲ್ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ನೆಟ್ ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ರಿಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೊ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ರಿವರ್ಟ್ ಪಾಪರ್ ಹೈಪಾಥಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಬೈ ಪಾಲ್ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ one more concept is there, David Tillman's long-term field experiment. The plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in biomass. Increased diversity contributed to higher productivity. David Tillman's long field experiment finds that plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in biomass. So David Tillman, so according to his experiment, the species with more plots shows less number every year, and the variation in biomass also less. Increased diversity variety, we are going to see the higher productivity. That is the main concept of the David Tillman. Okay, so next we are moving to the loss of biodiversity. That means loss of variety of living organism. Life on the earth has been subjected to 5 episodes of mass extinction in the past 3 billion years results in sudden drop of biodiversity due to volcanoes, asteroid collidings, continental drift, floods, etc. The main cause for biodiversity loss is due to overpopulation. Man exploited the natural resources indiscriminately by deforestation. Deforestation means a cutting of forest. Agricultural expansion. We are using the a forest land to agricultural land. Urbanization. We are going to cut the forest. We are going to urbanize. Nothing but the we are going to construct the new building. Industrialization. Again, we are going to cut the forest area. We are going to construct the industries, mining, pollution, etc. So the deforestation, agricultural expansion, urbanization, industrialization, mining activity, pollution, these are the man-made activities. Those man-made activities mainly causes the loss of biodiversity. Apart from this one more is the overpopulation. According to IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resource. So they, the IUCN able to established one book called Red Data book, Red Data list in the 2004. 2004. The IUCN Red Data list documents the extinction of 784 species. According to the IUCN, the Red Data list about 784 species of plants and animals are extinct in the last 500 years. Last 500 years. Last 20 years alone, 27 species are disappeared. Example, Dodo, Mauritius, that is in the Mauritius region. Kagga, a zebra we call in African region. Thylacine in Australia, that is nothing but Tasmanian wolf. Stellar sea cow in Russia. 3 subspecies of tiger like Bali, Javan, Caspian. So these are the major species are disappeared in the last 20 years. It has been analyzed that 15,500 species are endangered. Presently, 12% of birds, 23% of mammals, 32% of amphibians, 31% of gymnosperm species are on the edge of extinction. Edge of extinction. Here, endangered and extinction, the two words are there. Endangered species means the species of plants and animals which are on the edge of extinction are called endangered. Extinction means the species of plants which are already destroyed, disappeared, called as a extinction. The Red Data Book RDB, the book which contains list of endangered species of plants and animals is called Red Data Book. Red Data Book. So one more word is there, endemic species. The species which are restricted to particular geographical area is called endemic species. Endemic species. One is best example, lion-tailed macaca. Macaca, nothing but a monkey. Kerala rat. Okay. Then fruit bat, leaf, Nilgiri leaf monkey, etc. The endangered species, the species that are danger in extinction or the present at the edge of extinction in near future is called endangered species. Best example, tiger, elephants. Okay, extinct species, nothing but the species of plants and animals already they exist from the nature or destroyed from the nature. Example, Dodo, Kagga, Thylacine, Stellar sea cow. Then the 3 species of tiger like Bali, Javan, Caspian. So This is about the loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. So the Red Data Book by IUCN, Red Data Book contained only the endangered species, extinct species, okay, rare species, okay. Then in the next class we are going to study the causes of biodiversity loss. Why? Why the loss of biodiversity is occur? What are the causes? What are the reasons? That we are going to study in the next class. Once again, I am going to recall in this class what we discussed. In this class, we discussed one thing is a importance, sorry, species area relationship. This concept was firstly described by or explained by a scientist called Alexander van Humboldt. Okay, Humboldt. So he studied the species area relationship in the South America forest. He found that species richness is increases with increasing the explored area up to certain limit because in the area under the study has uniform environmental factors. Second, the importance of species diversity to the ecosystem, into the ecosystem. Next, river popper hypothesis. River popper hypothesis is explained by a scientist called Paul Ehrlich. He compared the ecosystem with aeroplane, then biodiversity with the rivers and net bolts. Okay, what happen if the decreasing of biodiversity in an ecosystem? That effect he can be explained by taking a comparison and example called aeroplane. One more called David Tillman's long-term field experiment finds that plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in biomass, then increased diversity contributed to higher productivity. The third concept we studied in this class is called as a loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. So there is a more species are already extinct. The extinct species are dodo from Mauritius, kagga or quack from the Africa, thylacine from the Australia, stellar seacow from the Russia. The three subspecies of tiger like Bali, Javan and Caspian. Caspian. Okay. This is about the a biodiversity conservation, in that loss of biodiversity and then importance of species diversity. Next class we are move on to the move on to the causes of biodiversity losses. Okay, thank you.